So the first video game, so games are not even 100 years old. Of course, you all know school games and stuff. Games that school people play at school and stuff. And yeah, sports. They have been around for a while. But video games are actually a relatively new thing. And yes, video games are no exception. What will be the video games that people will be talking about 100 years from now? 100 years ago. What will our great grandkids still be playing? And no more Games of the Decade award will basically help, or basically any game that gets awards. These games have to basically be timeless, games that we still played 100 years from now. Yes, it really depends if the developers will still continue playing them, and of course if the game is a popular franchise that is ongoing, such as games like GTA 5. Yes, GTA 5 is very successful, but considering that there will be future GTA games, yeah, GTA 5 will probably be forgotten by the time GTA 20 comes around 100 years from now. So we'll be talking about games that people will be playing 100 years from now. So the first game is Minecraft. Someone already made a video about this, but yes, Minecraft is that type of game that probably will never go away despite what people want it to have gone. There are some people who hate Minecraft's player base, but there is a reason why Minecraft has already lasted 10 years. It's a game that anybody can play, despite its graphics not being the most impressive and the most technical graphics. Minecraft is a game that both the old and young can play, and they're not making any sequels anytime soon, so Minecraft won't be overshadowed by a much bigger Minecraft 2 at the moment. So yeah, unless a Minecraft 2 comes out in the next 100 years, or something else that comes out to replace Minecraft, well, they have tried many times, like Terraria, and of course the many other countless amount of games, such as No Man's Sky, Ark Survival Evolved, and other games that have attempted to replace Minecraft have all failed. So yeah, Minecraft will still probably be a popular 100 years from now. And yes, people will still be playing Minecraft 100 years from now. Yeah, this was going to get harder and harder. So we have to get to the greatest games list. These games are of course the games that will likely stand the test of time. Of course, yes, your grandkids probably will not be playing these games. They'll probably be playing the newer games. But of course, we gotta go over this. Greatest games by the top 10. What will be the games that people pass down from generation to generation? Well, I have this list. The best video games of all time. And of course, there are many games that could be mentioned here. Of course, we'll be excluding games like, the second game I will be talking about is Skyrim. Elder Scrolls 6, we don't know how the game will be, but considering Fallout 36, and Professors, Elder Scrolls 6 probably won't be coming out for a long time, whereas it keeps Skyrim relevant for years to come. Fallout 4 came around, but people still play Fallout 3, and Fallout, the older Fallouts as well. I think that Skyrim could be one of those games. It also came out the same year as Minecraft, as well. Skyrim would be just one of those games that people just always return back to. I won't be surprised if because guess what? People are still making Mario 64 memes still in 2020. Yes, Mario 64 is still getting new memes in 2020. Yes, Mario 64 is getting even a new release in 2020. Speaking of Mario 64, the next game on the list is Mario 64. Mario 64 is kind of be like the Citizen Kane of video games, and Mario Bros. 1. Both of these games basically changed gaming as a whole. Most of gaming's most iconic franchises, such as 3D franchises such as Halo, The Last of Us, and BioShock, and especially GTA, and Fortnite, and the newest hit, Fall Guys. Well, Mario 64 will be the game here. I won't be surprised if in video game school, people will learn the intricacies of Mario 64. Mario 64 will probably be a game that people will be playing for years. in years, and probably is going to be one of those games that'll be popular forever. Same thing with the first Mario. The first Mario will be probably popular until the end of time. Another game that we gotta mention is Ocarina of Time and the first Zelda, two other very revolutionary games. But Zelda was the game that invented the save feature, and yes, a lot of people still consider Ocarina of Time to be the greatest game of all time. But I think that Mario 64 is going to be remembered more than Zelda Ocarina of Time because it was the first true 3D game to be released on a console. It was, and of course, because of that, I think that gaming schools were going to teach the like film studies, is going to teach the importance of Mario 64 to gamers all around. Mario 64 will be remembered as a game that that revolutionized and changed gaming. Yes, it may look old, it may look not that amazing, but of course, we gotta give props to Mario 64 for changing the gaming landscape. Next, we gotta get to other consoles. The FPS genre. Of course, the FPS genre, I think one of the FPS games are going to survive until the end of this decade. Of this century. So we have many games. Doom, Halo 3, TF2. Yes, that game's still alive. 68,000 players, unless they make TF3. Where there was a rumor that TF2 was going to be replaced by TF3. But yeah. But who will be remembered the most? Doom, really nobody remembers Doom that much. Yes, Doom is very popular, but the remake of Doom 2016, no, not remake, reboot of Doom 2016, despite what Doom did for FPS games, Doom 2016, yeah, that's the problem. Halo has a similar problem. Halo has 3 great entries: Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. But I think the one that people will probably remember the most is Halo 3, because it's introduction of Fords as well. But also another game that came out around the same time is Team Fortress 2. And yes, on Steam, this game is still being played. Yes, it's still one of the most played games on Steam. The game has not died, contrary to popular belief. So yes, I think that people will still be playing TF2 unless TF2 servers get pulled. But I think that Halo 3 will win out because TF2 eventually will die if no one plays or if they make Team Fortress 3, whereas I think in the next 100 years is inevitable, and once TF3 becomes popular, TF2 will be gone. We remember, but they'll shut down the servers and replace it with TF3. That's kind of what they did with some other games that have come out, like Destiny. Destiny was very popular until Destiny 2 came out. And yes, Halo 3 will I think, out of all 3, or Halo 3, but then it'll be Halo 3 versus Halo 1. Halo 3 has the most customization and forwards, but again, Halo 1 is the first Halo game ever made. It did revolutionize FPSs, proving that yes, FPSs can be played on console. Oh, but Doom, GoldenEye. Yeah, GoldenEye, the only game that can contend for this is GoldenEye, but Halo is the game that introduced true FPSs to, and actually was a system seller. GoldenEye already came out on a console with Mario 64 and Zelda Ocarina of Time and Mario Kart 64. Already very popular games. And the only reason why GoldenEye sold so well was because of its brand. Halo was an entirely new IP and didn't need to rely on a brand to sell copies. The next game that I think will be popular from years on now is Pokemon. But which Pokemon? We all know which Pokemon. Gen 1. Specifically, that's the first generation of games. Yes, even though I have my gripes, Generation 1 was the games that introduced the highest grossing franchise of all time. And I think that Game Freak is just going to introduce every decade a new version of Gen 1 every single time with the Let's Go games, and of course, Player Red and Leaf Green last decade. I won't be surprised if there's a new version of Gen 1 for somewhere down the line. It's because Pokemon, it started with Gen 1. And yes, people may not be playing Red and Blue in 2120, but people will still be a new iteration of Gen 1, and considering that Pokemon is the most successful franchise of all time, yes, it is. It's the highest grossing media franchise of all time. Yes, kind of like how people will still be watching But yeah, Gen 1. Another game we have to talk about is Tetris. Tetris is a game that came out a long time ago, and yes, Tetris is a game that, yes, is still considered one of the top 10 games. Like Generation 1 of Pokemon, Tetris has always a foothold in some form on every single console, yes, even the Wii U and Puyo Puyo Tetris. Tetris is a game that will remain timeless as time goes on. Another game that, yes, will probably last forever is the dreaded World of Warcraft. We all love to hate World of Warcraft and the player base that has spawned. But really, World of Warcraft really revolutionized the MMO types of games. If it wasn't for World of Warcraft, MMOs would not be the well they are now. So yes, I think that yes, people will still be playing World of Warcraft 2120. Yes, World of Warcraft may not have the same player base, but the loyal player base will still exist because people know that World of Warcraft exists and is a game that exists. Another game we want to talk about is GTA 5. GTA 5 is, of course, one of the best-selling games in all of history, and I think even if future titles come out, GTA 5 actually was the fastest-selling video game for a while. It actually is one of the best-selling games of all time, selling over 100 million copies. Yes, that's actually real. Best-selling games of all time. And yes, even GTA 5 even sold well on the PS3 in Japan. And I think GTA 5 is going to be one of those games that is ported to every future console. And let's not forget, it's already on PC. So of course it's still probably very popular PC 10 years from now. Probably 2120, yeah, people will still be playing GTA 5. It won't have the 20,000 players it has now. But yes, I think that, yes, GTA 5 will be a game that will be passed on from generation to generation. Kind of like those people who still watch Jurassic Park, still introduce it to the younger generations. But yeah, the difference between GTA and Jurassic Park is that GTA is a mature-rated game, so of course parents are going to have to wait until they're older to play GTA 5. So yeah, that's it about GTA 5. But yeah, GTA 5 will still probably be a game that will sell amazing on every console. Actually, it's the second best-selling game of all time, and Tetris being the third best-selling game of all time. And actually, if you really think about all these games that will stand, quote-unquote, test of time, are on the list of the highest-selling games of all time. Except for Ocarina of Time and Mario 64, of course. But again, Mario 64 has still sold 20 million copies because of Mario 64 DS and the Mario 64 remakes that are coming, Mario 64 remake as well. And of course we went over Mario Bros. And Tetris, which of course Tetris sold 143 million copies, including all the EA versions and all of the Nintendo versions and all the other versions as well. Probably make up even more than that. But yeah, Pokemon also and Skyrim also in the top list of the best-selling games of all time. And let's not forget Minecraft, which became the best-selling game of all time, passing Tetris's sales of 170 million copies. And GTA 5 soon surpassed Tetris's old record. The next game we'll be talking about is an easy game, Wii Sports. Wii Sports was a game that was bundled with every single Wii. I don't know if Nintendo will port this game in the future on newer consoles, but yeah, people still make memes about Wii Sports 14 years from now. There are YouTube channels that still talk about Wii Sports, and the game is the fourth best-selling game in all of history. Yeah, that will probably change by 2100. Another game that will, of course, stand the test of time is Pac-Man. People still play Pac-Man on their phone and the computer, okay? You can really get it for free on your phone. Yeah, Pac-Man was not going anywhere by that time. It is Pac-Man. Another game that will probably not go away is, yes, FIFA. Yeah, there will still be FIFA games by 2120 because of how well they sell on every console. But another game that we're going to talk about is Zelda Breath of the Wild. It is the only other game in the Zelda franchise that can contend with the Ocarina of Time. And yes, Zelda games have released since Ocarina of Time, but no Zelda game has been beloved and universally liked, such as Breath of the Wild. Zelda Twilight Princess came, some people didn't really care for its darker tone, Skyward Sword, yes, there's a group of people, including myself, who hate Skyward Sword because of motion controls. And Wind Waker, there was the whole hate over its art style. But Breath of the Wild, nobody hated it. Nobody hated Breath of the Wild except for trolls and the internet who made troll videos about it. Yeah, people will probably still be talking about Breath of the Wild, especially the people who talk about the greatest games in all of history will be talking about Breath of the Wild in the top 100, despite many great games coming out since. And yes, we can't forget GTA San Andreas. Yes, GTA San Andreas is not really as popular as GTA 5, but yeah, because GTA 5 exists, don't really think GTA San Andreas. Another game that we remembered is Witcher 3. Witcher 3 was kind of like the Skyrim with the PS4 and Xbox One era. And I think just like Skyrim, Witcher 3 will be ported to every console and beyond the greatest games of all time lists every single time, probably. It's just that popular. Oh, we also forgot about Halo, which, again, yeah, Halo is not in the top 50 games, but Halo is only on one console, Halo 3 specifically, and Halo 1. Or, yeah, probably Halo 1, which was only on the Xbox and ported to the 360 as well. And in the Master Chief Collection, so yeah, it's around 13 million copies that sell. And of course, there's also the PC version, so probably sold 2 million copies, yeah, around 50 million copies. And of course, TF2 has around 50 million players. But yeah, if TF3 comes around, yeah, TF2 will be gone. It's toast. It's a game that relies on online, basically. So yep, these are the games that will stand the test of time. Have I forgotten any other games that are going to stand the test of time? Is there any other games that people will remember years from now? Will any of these games be remembered? Probably Minecraft and Pac-Man and Tetris. Those games will definitely stand the test of time, and Mario 64. But yep, that's basically it. Goodbye.